everybody, and welcome to episode 95 of the This Old Knit podcast. I am your host, Nina, otherwise known as Ine on Ravelry, Instagram, and Pinterest, and you can find show notes for this episode and all previous episodes on the corresponding thread of the This Old Knit podcast group. I'm trying to figure out lighting. This is not a good spot because I have a lot of backlighting. But if I turn you around, you're going to see the chaos that is my home right now. It's crazy. It's full of boxes. Maybe we can go that way. Let me see. Better? It's a little better. Now I've got all my crap behind me, but that's okay. So thank you all for joining me. If you are a new viewer, welcome. And if you're a returning viewer, you know why it is so crazy. And now I also am not going to be able to reach my coffee. What am I doing? I don't know. Coffee is very important. So, I am coming to you now from the very beautiful town of Marlborough, Connecticut. We are in a quite wooded part, but that's not saying much because a lot of Connecticut is very wooded, which is one of the things that I really love about it. So, yeah, I'm very excited. This is kind of my new favorite knitting spot. So our living room or family room is too small for the purple couch, but that's fine because I'm putting it in my formal living room, which is going to be the crafting room. So yarn parlor slash sewing room, and then crafting room for the children as well. And here I've got this huge bay window. I've always wanted a bay window, so I'm very happy I have not one, but two. And I have all of my orchids and my anthurium and my African violet. My African violet loves this climate. Is blooming like crazy right now. So it's just really nice. I've got a lot of great natural light and I love it. So today I'm drinking out of a Starbucks You Are Here Kansas City mug. This one was purchased for me by my very good friend Jen, who was part of the knitting group at work, and then she moved to Iowa. She got me like 4 or 5 different mugs when they went on like this big trip. So I think I have Kansas City, one from Missouri, Minnesota, and I don't remember the other one. And she also got me an Alaska one, which my stepfather broke. He slipped and fell on our kitchen floor, so, and he was really worried about the mug. I'm like, I'm more worried about you. So yeah, I do not have a ton of knitting content this week, so I'm just going to show you what I've done so far, and then I think I do have acquisitions, but I also will do a segment that is kind of future knitting plans. So one of the nice things about packing up everything in my craft room is that as I was unpacking all the books and magazines and stuff, I was trying to look at them to decide, do I actually want to put these away in my shelf? And I've rediscovered some things that I would like to make. So I'm trying to make a pile of stuff that I really want to prioritize, and that's part of the Stash or Shelf challenge anyway, but I had not done a true full perusal of my shelf. I already knew there were some things that I had bought on Ravelry that I wanted to knit, so I've been focusing on that, but yeah, my books and my magazines probably need some love as well. I won't get into a ton of our moving adventures, travel adventures here, because they are long and epic. Suffice it to say, we had highway closures for multiple hours, moving trucks that took out cables, moving trucks that wouldn't fit into either driveway, delays, broken things, incorrect estimates for how long it would take to pack our house, scrambling to find accommodations. It's been a journey, but we are here. We made it. I am going to do a separate vlog of all of the stuff. So I took video of our home in Ohio when it was completely empty before we moved. I took some pictures with boxes everywhere. I've taken video of this home before we moved things in, and I've sort of started taking some videos here and there of what I want to do with the rooms. So right now we're prioritizing trying to get the kitchen unpacked, and what else? Really like the bedrooms, the kids' rooms and the bedrooms, just so that we can go back to having some semblance of order. Next week is going to be very busy for me at work. I've actually been working this entire time. I haven't been able to take any days off, which has been really difficult. It's been very challenging because I was hoping I'd be able to take a few days off to help get things done. But I do really still enjoy my job, so it's fine. Yeah, I know this is a lot of waffling at the beginning. I usually don't spend 6 minutes. I'm almost at 7 minutes now waffling around, but I haven't recorded a podcast in quite a while. So one thing that I want to say that I don't want to forget about is about CALs. So we're working on the Stash Your Shelf Challenge, which is a year-long knit-along. Really, it's knitting, crochet, or weaving, or spinning. And it's just using the things that you have. So if you have a pattern that you've had prior to this year, so it has to be something that you've purchased before January 1st, 2018, either yarn or fiber or pattern. If you are doing a pattern that you already had, you can use new yarn. If you are doing yarn that you already had, you can use a new pattern. So you still get to have fun, enjoy the new Oh Shiny, but at the same time, rediscover and enjoy the things that you already owned. I'm knocking things off. I also haven't found my hairdryer yet, so yeah, wet hair. So that's going on, and I will be drawing. I draw prizes quarterly. I will be drawing for the Q2 prize probably the next podcast because I didn't have time to do it right now, and it is actually not the end of the month. Today is the last day of the month, so I want to make sure I give people some time to put things in. So whenever today is over, the month is over, I will probably go in tomorrow evening, so you'll have an extra day. And what I do is I put a post just saying post X to post X for Q2 prizes just for myself. And then that's what I use the random number generator for to draw for prizes. I do not remember what I said the prize was going to be. I haven't sent out Q1 prizes because moving. But I do have them, and they will go in the mail soon. Thank you, Mel and Jessica, for being patient. You're the best. So that's one. The other thing that I wanted to do was announce a new CAL. And this is a CAL that's going to be going for several months. It is completely selfish of me to announce it, but I'm going to do it anyway. Because since I'm now in Connecticut, I'm going to Rhinebeck this year. And I'm so freaking excited. Mostly because of the people that I get to meet, because I have tons of people that I've met through this wonderful podcasting community, and I cannot wait to meet them in person and spend some time with them. Yeah, you all know who you are, and I'm sure I will meet new friends that I haven't even contemplated yet. and of course, all of the cool different yarns and stuff. So, in light of that, I don't know if I'll be going for more than one day because I will probably be driving. But that said, I am pretty up for long drives, and it's only a maybe 2.5 hour drive. So I might drive up for 2 days. I don't know. My mom is probably going to be coming and staying with me, and maybe one of her friends as well. I also invited my friend Andrea, but she already had a Disney trip planned for this year, so maybe next year. But in light of that, I am going to start my Rhinebeck sweaters now, because I know that everybody makes a big deal about knitting a new fresh sweater for Rhinebeck, and I want to be part of that fun, and all of you can be part of the fun too. Even if you're not going to Rhinebeck, doesn't matter, because you'll have a new sweater, which is awesome, right? Or sweaters. So I'm gonna call it Knit All the Rhinebeck Sweaters, all in capital letters, Cal, and it will go from now to Rhinebeck, which I believe is in October. I will look it up though, and I will post that in the thread. The only rule is that it needs to be a sweater for you. Sweaters for you. Whips, of course, count. Whips always count for my cows because I take for freaking ever to knit things, and I have a million things on the go, and that's just the way that I create. Who am I to put restrictions upon you for what you create? It can be any weight of yarn. It can be color work. It could be a cardigan. It could be a pullover. It could be short sleeved, long sleeved, whatever you want. It's a sweater. It's for you. Enjoy it. For me, I'm going to have Rhinebeck sweaters, and I want to have them for a couple of different possibilities of weather, because I know sometimes it can be really hot for Rhinebeck, and sometimes it can be cold for Rhinebeck. I want to have my bases covered, right? Because I want to wear some hand knits. So I'm probably going to knit some color work, another sew faded sweater, because I am loving the heck out of my sew faded sweater knit, and yeah, I don't even know what else I'm going to knit yet, but the possibilities are endless, people, so enjoy. And if you would like to donate a prize for the Knit All the Rhinebeck Sweaters Cal, please get in touch with me, and I appreciate it. Otherwise, I will just whip something up. I will either sew a project bag, maybe I will pick some yarn from my stash, which is extensive, I don't know. Or maybe it will be that you will win a skein of yarn that I will buy at Rhinebeck for you. That would be cool. Maybe I'll do that. It'll be that I'll draw the winners for the prize, but I will get your prize when I'm at Rhinebeck. Wouldn't that be awesome? Okay, that's what I'm going to do. At least for one of them, but I'm happy to have more than one because I love having the ability to reward you all for all of your hard work, and it just makes it more fun, right? Prizes make things more fun. I like just cows that are just about everybody knitting together, but it's fun to at least have the possibility of winning a prize, even if you might not. But I don't have a huge viewer base, so your chances are pretty good. Okay, that's enough waffling. 15 minutes, Nina. Oh my God. Okay, I'm very chatty. So let's get into some actual knitting content, which is what this podcast is supposed to be about. So I've only knit really, oh my God, on two things, one of which is across the room, I just realized. Train wreck. And I was planning on sitting with my back to the window, so everything is queued up over on this side, and I had a blanket draped all beautifully on the side, so artistic, and of course that blew up in my face, because that's what happens. All right, hang on. All right. Do you like that little music that I did in the intro there? Okay, so I've really just knit on 2 things that have any amount of progress on them. I do have some knitting that I did on a sock, but I don't know where it is. It's somewhere in the house. So in my beautiful Sparkles the Unicorn bag from Knit Picks. Knit Picks, you've really stepped up your game on stuff, and I love it. So in this delightful little tote bag, I have been knitting on my Eulabuck mittens. Ah! This is a gorgeous pattern by the very, very talented Ellie, who is Skater Knits on Ravelry and Instagram. She designs really pretty color work. And, ooh, I didn't get my patterns. I will grab those for acquisitions because I did purchase some patterns, and one of them is Ellie's. And I'm not positive where I put it, but I'll just mention it. Okay, so I am knitting these out of Tuku wool in the Uyo colorway and Rowan Fine Tweed in the Burnsall colorway. I don't know. It is this dark raspberry tweed. So it's got little tweedy neps that are red, teal, and orange, I think. Yeah. Like a lighter raspberry, teal, and orange tweedy neps. They're very subtle. So fingering weight yarns. And here's my Tuku wool in the Uyo colorway. It's a very rustic mauve color because the Tuku wool is dyed on a, I think it's a gray wool base. It's not white wool. So you get this beautiful heathered effect with their wool, which I really like. So I think I've almost completed the antlers on it. There's this very pretty reindeer. There's some kind of snowflakes falling. And then it's got this lacy cuff with a double, it's like a folded over hem. It's hard to see because my light is crap. And then on the palm, there are poinsettias going up the middle and more of those snowflakey thingies. And it has a cute Stitch Progress Keeper by Little Bitty Delights. It's a s'more. I think she has these in her shop, just normally made to order. So you can get one for yourself. But I love s'mores, so s'mores. I'm knitting these on Carbons. Mostly because I didn't have any other needles free. I think these are 2.5. Oh my gosh. They feel really loose too. Like this one, the needle really needs to be like glued back in because the cable can kind of pull out a little bit from it, which is another reason I don't really use this set very often, but you know, it works. I think these are 2.5 millimeter needles. So I really like it. Yeah. This is just my first mitten though. These are taking a little while just because I was knitting a lot of DK weight mittens. I'm knitting these for Ellie has a year-long knit-along that is called the Year-Long Mitt-along. And it is to knit 6 pairs of colorwork mittens over the course of the year. I'm pretty sure I've already knit 6. So I'm going for my second 6 with this one. My second 6 will probably be in fingering weight, and who knows if I'll get them all done. But I believe it's adult size mittens, which is unfortunate because I'm also going to knit a bunch for my kids, but that's okay. So that is that. And I'm sorry, my nose is super, super stuffy right now. It's very frustrating. I need to take my allergy medicine. I usually take it at night, and last night I was exhausted, so I just went to sleep and I did not take it. And here we are. The only other thing that I have knit on is my So Faded. This is a pattern by Andrea Mowry. Oh yeah, and I patched a bunch of socks. I had to darn / repair so many freaking socks. My husband, I'm looking around because I saw them somewhere and I was going to show you how I repaired them. But my husband is blowing through lots of his socks. And he is very gentle on washing them. It's just that he only has 3 or 4 pairs of socks. And he wears them all the time. So they get a lot of love. And many of them were failing on the same place on the heel where they kind of wore through. So the ones that I fixed, the body of the sock was Volan Vine Yarns Footsie in the Captain Swan colorway, and then the heels, toes, and cuffs were Madeline Tosh sock in Steamer Trunk Gray. The Footsie was great. There is absolutely nothing wrong with the Footsie. It looks good, other than some fading, but I mean, he washes them all the time, so I expect that it's probably going to fade a bit. But the fiber itself is in amazing shape, and so that's not the problem. It was the Tosh sock, which, thinking now, it's just a merino nylon blend. It probably was not the right sock yarn for my husband because he is just hard on his socks. So what I did was I went and I picked up stitches on the point of the bottom of the heel flap. You know, where you do the heel turn. So you make like the triangle at the bottom of the flap. That had like a giant hole. So I just picked up stitches on the very end of the point, and then I knit and just increased to make the triangle. And when I was at either side of the triangle, I picked up a stitch of the flap part and just passed it over my stitch, and then I would increase a stitch, on either side. And then when I got to the top of the triangle, I picked up the stitches along the top of the triangle, and I did a Kitchener stitch along there. And he said it works great, it feels good, it doesn't even feel like it's been repaired. He can't feel it at all, which is what I was going for. I did it in a completely different color so that we could really see if it fails again, what the failure is, but I was really proud of myself for coming up with that. The yarn I used was Patton's Croy Stretch sock. They don't make it anymore. It was just some that I had in my leftovers stash, so that's where I tend to dip into like my mini skeins or leftovers that I have, and these were leftover from a pair of socks I knit for myself that ended up turning out a little bit too small, and Megwin actually wears them. But these socks, seriously, they have been washed and dried and, you know, been to hell and back, and they look exactly the same as the day I knit them. No fading, no stretching, no rubbing or anything. They look like they just came off the needles. So I was like, this is the yarn that I need to use to fix the heels for Josh's socks. And going forward, I'm going to use Patons or Opal or something very hard wearing for the heels, toes, and cuffs. But Footsie, it's great. And I told Kristen, like, your yarn is not the problem here. It is the Mad Tosh sock, which really, it's a sock weight yarn, but it's probably not the best choice for socks. At least for a man. Because they don't have soft feet. All right, let's talk about the So Faded sweater, right? So my So Faded sweater, I wanted to do it all in neutrals so that it would match everything. And I would like to have it be one that could easily pair with skirts, jeans, just can run the whole gamut. So I picked 4 colors of Bad Wolf Girl Studios yarn. Hi Meg, which I love. And Meg is also the hostess of the Bad Wolf Girl Sits and Knits podcast. So my colors, because this is probably the last time you're going to see it before it's done. I wanted it to be done, but I got obsessed with like unpacking boxes last night. I could have banged this sleeve out very easily, but I don't know. I have this thing where it's like, oh, I'll just do one more box, just one more box. And yeah. So my first colorway is this one. This is called His Owl. And, oh yeah, they're all Harry Potter themed yarns. So this is His Owl. So that's supposed to be Hedwig, who is Harry Potter's owl companion. She's a barn owl. And then my second colorway, which is the one that's attached to my sleeve currently, is Gringotts, which is the Goblin Bank. So you can see it's a little bit less white. It starts to bring in more of the gray, and then it also has some kind of bluey tones to it. It's really pretty. Obviously, I think that because I bought it for my sweater. My third color is Padfoot. So here we're starting to really get into the gray. This one I would say is more gray than white. It just has kind of white speckles, white parts, and then some black. And then my fourth colorway is called the Leaky Cauldron. And this is a completely gray with some small white portions, black speckles, and some like burnt orange, almost like fire. It's very pretty. I do have one of the tags. So there's our logo, Bad Wolf Girl Studios. This one's for Padfoot, so it's an 80-20 blend, 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. 400 yards is the put up. You can find her on Etsy, so badwolfgirlstudios.etsy.com. There's her, where you can go to find her. I highly recommend her yarn. Hey, there's tissues in here, yay! I really need those in a random shell from the beach. Okay, ooh, got loose stitch markers in here. Stitch marker down! This little Notions pouch I got from David's Tea. And a tiny sheepy tin from the Sexy Knitter. So this just fits that tin, and then I have an extra pair of scissors in here because I don't always have these together. Sometimes I have that tin separate in another bag, but I don't have very many whips right now, so that I'm actively working on. Some Chai Spice hand balm because you need that. And my other set of needles is in here for the ribbing on my sleeve. Okay, so I think when I showed this to you guys, I maybe had the top portion like to here, I think. I really don't remember the last time that I showed it to you. But I'm almost done now. Maybe I had the down to here because I had talked about doing the waist shaping and stuff. Yeah, I think I did have down to here because I was talking about that I started trying to alternate skeins, but this actually looks kind of cool because this falls, sorry, this part where it started flashing falls right on my waist. So it's kind of a neat detail. So I've completed all of the bottom ribbing that is bound off. I didn't get very much into my fourth color, but I think they're pretty even in how much of each is on the sweater, and I just faded into my fourth color on my sleeve. So it's just, here's where I started fading it in, and then it just has a teeny bit of straight, and then the cuff. That cuff looks like it would fit a baby, but it does actually fit me. I did 3/4 sleeves on it. So finished one sleeve, and then I went ahead and did the neckband, so I wouldn't have to carry around this color at all because then I'm done with it. Because picking up the other sleeve was with my second color. So if you're gonna do a So Faded sweater, the first color is the one you probably need the least of because you're not then gonna use it on the sleeves. You just need it for the neckband. I love how this fits. It is so comfortable. I went for the size 38, but I did add, like I said, I added waist shaping because I tried it on, and once I got past the bust, there was just so much extra material. It just wasn't gonna fit me the way I want it to. For like clothes I'm gonna wear to dress up, I don't like them to be really slouchy, and since I wanted this to wear with skirts and stuff, I wanted to go for a little bit more tailored look. So I am almost to where I'm going to fade in the third color, and I do not have much left at all. So let me fold it up so I can show you how much I had left. So just that much of a sleeve. And it goes fast because I'm also decreasing. Those two markers are there because I had a little section. I think I read the instructions wrong. So I was reading the instructions for the elbow length sleeves, and I did so I had to do a little bit of knitting straight, and then change my decrease rate for the remainder of the sleeve to match the elbow length sleeves. That's fine, as long as I do the second one the same way. They fit. So that's what those are marking, is just the part where I need to just knit straight. And what I did is I just knit straight for the portion where I was fading in my third color, because it made sense. I also, for some reason, did a longer fading portion for my third color than for my other color fades. I don't know, but I imitated what I did on the body. I just matched it. So, doesn't matter, guys. It's my sweater. I can do what I want. You can do what you want. That's the nice thing about this. It's a really great basic top-down raglan sweater, and it's just like a canvas for you to paint with your yarn as you see fit. So I want to knit a couple more of these. I'm thinking a peachy pinky one, which I think I've shared the palette that I had before. I've got a mix of Adelaide Cottage yarns and Woolen Vine yarns, and then Hedgehog Fibers. Yeah, I have one Hedgehog Fibers. That's what I wanted to start it with, and it's the leftover Monarch from my Exploration Station shawl that I made last year. I think that was last year that I made it. And it was in light grays and peaches and rust. So funny. Clearly I have a color palette. But yeah, I've really been enjoying this. I haven't been bored at all. It's been just what I needed for what my life is doing right now. I needed something that was very straightforward, didn't require a lot of brain power, but still had some interest to it, which the color fading, changing the colors gave me. So I really hope to have that done today. We're gonna probably go to IKEA because we had a mattress that we had kept. It couldn't fit upstairs in our last house, but we kept it for Megwin because it was in good shape. We put it in one of those big plastic bags. We put it in the basement, and it was weird. I had a dream that there were like mice chewing into it and nesting in it, and we found it when we moved, and we were like, oh my God. And I told Josh about it, and he's like, oh, that's a terrible dream. And then when we went to move it, it had like, there were places where there was moisture coming into that room where we put it, and we didn't realize. We had a hand-dug basement in our last house. So it did get like some moisture penetration, so it had some mold on it, and there was one place in the corner where some kind of animal had chewed a little bit of it, so we threw it away. So we need to buy, excuse me, we need to buy a new mattress for Megwin because we just bought her a whole huge bed frame, the Brimness bed frame from IKEA in Ohio, and we had the movers move it here, but we don't have a mattress to put on it, so that's stupid. So we've got to buy one. And we have some other stuff we have to buy too, because we realized our first night finally in the house, we had no shower curtains and we had no plugs to even take a bath. So I couldn't take a shower or bath. I went and bought a shower curtain and some holders from Bed Bath & Beyond, but when I'm doing that kind of a stocking up, I really like IKEA's stuff for that kind of thing. They have some cool like linens and bath stuff and things, and so we're just gonna go and have fun. It's down in Bridgeport, I think, which is down by the coast, so that'll be nice to just take a little trip and see the ocean again. We have been down to the ocean, and it's beautiful. Of course it is. Everything about Connecticut is so freaking beautiful. It's gorgeous. I love it. This is like my dream state. It really is. Like all the nature, the forest, the ocean, the lakes, the hiking, the camping. It's amazing. So excited. Sorry. Allergy. So I'm going to put those things down on the floor. And now I will share with you acquisitions. Yay! So I got a couple of things before I left Ohio, and then I got my next installment of the Volan Vine Yarns Yarn Club is the first thing that I got as Connecticut mail, which really, could you ask for better Connecticut mail? Well, and no makers. But I think technically Kristen's package arrived first. So let's talk about what I'm wearing because, okay, so I got one of the No Makers t-shirts. Oh, gotta get up so you can see it. It is the one that she had about, it says, No Makers, Breaking Yarn Diets Since 2010. I couldn't let Amanda's shop close and not get one of the t-shirts. I've wanted one for a really long time. It is crazy comfortable. So if you're even pondering them, they are on sale and they're so soft. This is like a really, really soft t-shirt. Yeah, I love it. So it's going to be great for just wearing around, and I honestly didn't have any knitting themed t-shirts, so I got that. And then I got, I don't know where those are, I got 4 of her Flash Your Stash yarn totes. I've shown them before on the podcast, so they are clear vinyl, and then they've got like the, what is that called? Shoot, I don't remember. Like nylon braided stuff. There was a word for those, the straps, but that material, webbing. Ugh. Nylon webbing. Handles and then around the edges, and it has the No Makers logo on it, but they fit so much yarn and they zip up and they're great for storing your stash so you can still see it. It looks organized, but it's protected from moths. And you can move it around easily. And they're also nice for if you're going to a yarn festival or something. They're very lightweight. They can roll up really tiny, but you can hold a lot of things and you don't have to have like plastic bags and stuff that you get. So that's that. And then I did one more Tuesday morning trip. They didn't really have any fat quarters or anything. And I think, excuse me, I got like more hammocks for us to use when we go out and explore in the forest. So we now have 4 nylon hammocks that go into these really small, like they have their own little bags that are attached to them. So that'll be really fun to go out into our woods because we own like the woods all the way back in our property to, we butt up against a green space. So nobody else is going to be able to build a house behind us, and then we can just keep going into the green space that's owned by the town. So I got another journal, and it says all good things are wild and free. And it says Henry David Thoreau there, so it has a drawing, and it feels like it's like an old book cover. It's really pretty end papers, kind of doodly. And then yeah, just plain lined paper. I use these for just making notes. I have a show notes notebook that I use, so when I finish that one, I'll spill into this one. Right now I'm using one that has a seahorse on it. So I got that from Tuesday morning, and then I did one last local yarn store trip because I wanted to say goodbye to everybody. So I could not leave my local yarn store, which was Knitting Temptations in Dublin, Ohio. So if you are so inclined, you should go check it out if you're ever in the Central Ohio area. It's amazing. Karen and Barb are really, really sweet people. And they have a huge selection of stuff. So they had just recently started carrying Jamieson's Shetland Spindrift. And like I said, I wanted to make colorwork mittens for the kids, and they have a program where if you buy a certain amount of stuff, you get a percentage discount, and I've had a % discount just sitting there for forever. So I was like, well, I need to use it now. So I got quite a lot of Jamieson's Spindrift to make colorwork mittens for the kids. So this is the colorway's Orchid. It's a very soft lavender color. And this one, I want to work together with this beautiful purple. And that color is Albrecia. It's kind of an eggplanty color with some blue and raspberry. So those two together, I purchased 2 of the translated collections of mittens, which were mittens from the fairy forest and more mittens from the fairy forest. So Eventrevulter. Sorry. I'm sorry to all of you Norwegians. Yeah. But they did not translate all of the patterns from the book, but the ones that they did are great. So there's one that's, it's kind of got flowers and swallows and stuff all up on it, and they go all the way from child size to adult size. So I'm going to make those for Megwin. So the dark purple as the main color, and then this as the contrast color for those. I probably won't need all of these, but I wasn't sure how much I needed because I didn't have the book with me. So I just got 2 of each color. Other than for Joshua, because I know his, I'm only going to need 1 of each. The Lego in here. Let's put that to the side. For Joshua, from that same book, there's one that's 3 Billy Goats Gruff, and that is his favorite story. And it's got like the sky, it has the 3 billy goats, and they get larger as it goes down the hand. And then it has the bridge, and there's the green field kind of in the background. And then you can see like the little troll just peeking his little head up above the water, and his little eyes are, I think duplicate stitched on after the fact. So the sky is kind of 3 colors, or 2 colors, I'm sorry. It's 2 colors of blue. So I did 2 colors of blue here. And then I have one in my stash that I'm going to use that's Knit Picks palette. Yeah, Knit Picks palette to make that 3rd color of blue. And so this one is Caspian, this one is Petrol. What was I gonna, no, I was gonna do this for the sky, the whole thing just 1 color, because I saw some examples that were all 1 color. Then it has a sun at the top. So I'm gonna use the yellow that is Knit Picks palette. So this one is just a really pretty blue. This one is gonna be the water. So that one is Petrol. And then this is going to be the green grass. It is Celtic. So I thought those looked really nice together. And then the goats were kind of in a grayish color. So I chose this one because I think it'll contrast well. And this is Eggshell. So it's a gray white. You know, Ellie's talked about that before, that there's kind of white whites and then there's gray whites. So this one is more of a gray white. And then there's just a little bit of like black or dark brown and for the bridge. So I have some palette left over from like a kit that I bought a couple years ago from Knit Picks that was for Christmas ornaments. And it has a lot of colors in it. So I'm just going to use a little bit of that because it was literally like 2 lines and I didn't want to buy a whole skein just for that when I have stuff I can use in stash. So that's exactly what color work is supposed to be for, is using your stash. So that's all the colors I got for mittens, and then whatever I've left over, I will probably use in either mittens for me or make some more pairs for the kids. I also really want to make a pair of mittens that are by Vinkelwald. They are like daisy mittens, and I don't remember the name of them, but they have a beautiful daisy on the front of them and their blue background. So I think I can, again, use leftovers from these colors to make those mittens too. And so for those mittens, I got myself some more Rowan Fine Tweed because it was on sale. So I got 2 of each of the colors that they had that I did not have previously. So there's this really beautiful, like super light blue. And then there's a dusty blue. And I thought about getting a sweaters quantity in this other one, but I stopped myself because, come on, Nina, you're crazy. And we already were packing so much stuff, so I didn't. I just got 2 balls. That was good. This one is Pendle, which is a charcoal gray with neutral tweedy neps. I'm a sucker for neutral tweedy neps, people. So, like the cream and the tan, so pretty. But can you imagine a whole sweater out of that? I mean, so nice. But these were all really affordable because they were all in the sale section. So they were like $3 a ball. total steal. So I got a lot of stuff from their sale room. The last thing I got was this from the sale room as well. This is Swans Island Natural Colors Collection. So it's 100% organic merino wool. It's hand dyed with natural dyes, and it's crafted in Maine. So I guess I brought it home because it came from here. The color is fig, and it's just this gorgeous dusty rose color. Really not showing up well. So this is going to be a hat. A nice big squishy hat for me. Maybe something with cables, I think. It's so soft. So it is 250 yards of worsted weight. Yeah, that's going to make a great hat. So that is the plan. And again, that was on sale for, they had an extra like 20% off, and it was already 50% off, so it was crazy on sale. Probably because it's summer, so they're trying to clear out their winter stuff. Okay, so that is all of my local yarn store haul. And I'm gonna miss those ladies. Everybody was super friendly, and yeah, I was in there a ton, so everybody knew my name. So when everybody at the yarn store knows your name, and you don't even have to say anything, and they ask you how you're doing, and they know about your kids, like, that's your yarn store, right? Okay. Let me put all that away. Trying to keep things a little bit organized here. So then my club yarn, before we move on to other stuff. This is the second in the Strange Brew club, so it was all one-of-a-kind colorways that Kristen creates, and I cannot turn down a Wool and Vine Yarns yarn club because every time it is amazing, and I've not missed one since I started buying from Kristen. So the color is Geode, and it is amazing, as always. So it's kind of neon pastels, if that makes sense. So really pretty, like lime green, pink. I love speckly yarns that have just like that. So that big speckly patch. There's some blue in there. Some yellow, white. Another raspberry speckly patch. Oh, it's like crazy Easter. Easter on acid. I love it. So that is the second installment. And Kristen is also doing a special yarn for the Countess Ablaze thing that's sweeping the indie dyer community. So it is called the Tits Out Collective, and I think that's the hashtag on Instagram, but everyone who is participating is donating their profits to a charity of their choice. So hers is Planned Parenthood, which is a charity that I regularly support. So I definitely want to support her. I think that that is going to happen tomorrow for all of the indie dyers that are participating at 9 a.m. on Sunday. July 1st, I think, will be tomorrow. So I'm going to be there and try to snag a skein of her yarn as fast as my little clicky finger will work. Because they are all gorgeous and oh my god. Okay, and then I realized on the trip that I was almost out of the little hand balms that I was showing in my bag. I always have these in my bags because they are amazing and wonderful, and Martha is great. So I did a Tuft Woolens order So I got 3 more hand balms, so I can spread those across all of my project bags. And then I have one in my purse as well. So this one is 5th and 57th. This is the first time I've tried this scent, and it smells so good. Campfire s'mores, because it's s'mores, and vanilla almond, which is just a classic, and I love it. And then I was out of, well, I have 1 bar left of sock soap, and she doesn't always have that in the shop, so I made sure I bought some more sock soap, because we go through this pretty regularly, excuse me, with all of my knits that I need to wash. So I got the honeycomb scent, which I like a lot. And her sock soap lasts for quite a while. So she is on her own website now, not Etsy anymore. So it's tuftwoolens.com, and she's an Ohio maker. So I got to support the local homemakers. And I'm going to miss seeing Martha at local shows, but I think she goes to Rhinebeck, so I will see her at Rhinebeck. So there's her card. And she sends you a nice little instruction card that tells you how to use her soap. But there's her website, if it focuses. It's not going to focus. It's tuftwoolens.com. Okay. So that is everything that I have purchased. And other than that Volan Vine skein, I do not have any plans to purchase anything. I've bought some patterns, and like I said, I was going to go get them, but we're already running crazy long. And I was going to talk to you about the books that I found. So, books that I found that I want to knit things from. This one is a Vogue knitting, which I don't subscribe to anymore. It got weird for a while. At least it wasn't my taste, right? That doesn't mean it wasn't anybody's taste, but it was weird for me. But in here, there was this really gorgeous triangular shawl. It's made out of a little bit heavier weight yarn. I think it's made out of like a DK, maybe? So I would like to make that. And then I think there's a tank top. Yeah, this tank top I would like to make. So it's kind of plain on the front with just a little lace detail on the side, but the whole back is lace. And there's a whole section on things that the front's plain, but the back is really patterned. I also like this one a lot, so that's a hoodie. And the front is pretty plain on it with just a little scalloped edge. So this one is, it says Vicky Squares sleeveless tee, the first one I showed you, and the second one is a hooded cardigan by Marie Tobita. I think those are the main things I wanted to knit out of this magazine. So that is Vogue Knitting's Spring Summer of 2012. Now I'm going to pause for a second. Okay, I'm back. So the next one is an Interweave Knits, winter of 2011. This one, I believe, had a ton of stuff that I wanted to knit out of it originally. It also has some really great advice about cables. So in this one, I really like the one that's called Betty's Pullover. It's kind of a fun little neck detail, and it's a feather and fan pattern. on the body. Doesn't say who the designer is on here. Usually they do. And then I really like the Briar Rose tunic, which is the one from the cover. But you can see it better there. It's really pretty. It's got a nice cable detail on the neckline, and then they just continue that one central ribbing down the front and on the side panels, and it's in reverse stockinette on the body. That is the Briar Rose tunic by Elizabeth Parker. There's also these really cute slippers, which I've been wanting some slippers for wearing around the house. And I have some of those sew-on leather soles that I got from Knit Picks a while ago. There's the offset cable mittens, which I also really like. I've got like a million pairs of mittens now. The Fabled cardigan by Terry Crews in Barocco Vintage, and I have a bunch of this from my Aunt Lynn's stash, and I think this would be super cute for Megwin. I have a bunch of different colors of blue that I got from Aunt Lynn. And then I like this Tempest coat. So it is stranded color work, but it's turned inside out. It's made out of chunky weight. So I have this yarn that I got that's chunky weight wool blend, and I got it in a lot of colors, but I have like 1 or 2 skeins of all the different colors, and I've wanted to make it into something stripey. So you can see like it's stripes, but they're clearly, you know, catching their floats. So I think that'd be really pretty with this yarn. And then I have a black that's the same yarn, so I probably would edge it with black. That looks really comfy. Plus it has pockets. I love everything with pockets. This was just a really good issue. It also has the Petite Facile pullover, which a lot of people have been making that at my local yarn store. It's just a simple kid sweater with a big, huge button, and it's garter stitch on the top and stockinette in the body, but that would be really cute on Joshua. And then, of course, the Livingstone cardigan. And guess who it's by? You'll never guess. Amy Miller. But look at that. Look at that shawl collar, these cool toggle buttons, and the cable. Oh my gosh. That just looks like a live-in sweater. And it is made out of Baby Alpaca Grande Tweed by Plymouth. And I feel like I've got something. Oh, I've got the Full Circle Bulky in a purple color that I was thinking of for this particular cardigan. I got it when it was being discontinued. So I've got a huge amount of it. I think I have like 10 or 15 skeins, something ridiculous like that. Because that was before I understood how much it took to make a sweater for me. And then the Fauna pullover by Shirley Payton is just, oh my gosh, it's so pretty. I don't know if you'll be able to see that detail on it, but do you see it's kind of like lacy cable detail all over it with that pretty collar and a little bow. That just looks so dressy. It's beautiful. So you can see like there's tons of stuff in this issue that I want to knit. So definitely recommend that one. Winter 2011 Interweave Knits issue. And then the Fall 2010 Interweave Knits issue. I wanted to make this sweater on the front. It's really pretty. And this one I've got things marked. There's gloves and a hat. I guess I'm sitting here looking at stuff, and it's not very fun for you, is it? The Hawthorne pullover by Kathy Zimmerman. That just looks like a nice basic scoop neck pullover with some really beautiful cable detail. See, I usually mark them. Okay, so that one from the front, I was intending to use my soft linen. I think that's RYC soft linen, but I've got another thing that I want to use it for. I think it's the Hermione's cardigan or something. It was in a Harry Potter Knits Interweave issue, so I'd have to figure out a different yarn for it, but there it is. Very pretty. I'm sure I could find something in my stash that would work. And that's it from this one. So luckily I nicely marked that one. Using these pattern books because they don't give you a lot of information. Well, there's a little more instruction for these further on, I forgot. We got a very nice tennis vest. Oh, a victory vest. It's not just a vest. It's a victory vest. These are so World War II. And the defense worker. An easy, rugged knit sweater for the man behind the man with the gun. Sturdy and warm for chilly days. He has a slide rule. He means business. And then the practical workman. He delivers the goods in a sleeveless jacket, snugly knit with a close-fitting neck to guard his health. I'm sorry if you're not as amused as I am. Chips off the old. Here's our wonderful new Like Father Like Son sweater series for proud dads and their active sons. Easy to make. We give you a range of sizes from 8 to 42. Practical as the times and so handsome, you'll be doubly proud of the men in your family. Double or nothing. Apparently we've always liked to knit matchy-matchy stuff. And football heroes. Rugged pullovers of double knitting worsted, generously knit for plenty of action, warm and durable. Is this really how they dress for playing football? Fancy. So anyway, that's one of them. I have one for women. I probably should share it next time. But there is a really nice colorwork sweater on the front. Got a nice little turtleneck. She looks so happy. She reminds me of Sigourney Weaver, this lady on the front. Doesn't she look like Sigourney Weaver? She totally does to me. Check that out. Arm in arm, interchangeable sweater halves. There were like these little things stuck inside. Cool little jackets, quickly made with Lily Rug yarn. There's suits. Peasant gal. I really like this vest. Not that I ever wear vests, so it's ridiculous. Don't knit things that you're not going to wear. Don't be crazy. And this one, Raglan Classic. See, I'm totally showing you anyway. I'm not going to read all the captions, though. The mother-daughter jumper, cute enough for two. Yeah, there's just some funny stuff in here. So funny. And this is the way I learned to knit socks. Hand Knits Beehive Socks for men and women. I knit a pair of socks for my stepfather out of this, and that's how I learned to knit socks. They were these. It's kind of falling apart. The men's classic socks. Were they? Yes. Because this has a short row heel or a heel flap and gusset. This one in the middle, this is how I learned to knit a heel flap and gusset. Yeah, there's some cool patterns in there. Checkered anklets. Yeah, see? I've got notes. That's my handwriting on the men's classic rib socks. If you want to learn how to knit socks and just wing it, do it from a periodical from the 1940s or earlier. I think this one's from the 1940s. Yeah, 1948. Pattons and Baldwin. This is the 4th edition, printed in the USA. It tells you how to make argyle. Here's argyle variations. There's a lot of plaid going on there in the background. They also teach you how to do this thing where you add you can replace the heel and toe of the Aladdin classic sock without unraveling the foot. Patent pending. So yeah, you knit it. I believe you knit bottom or top down, and then you knit bottom up, and then it shows you how to knit a heel flap and gusset after the fact. And then you can just unravel and replace that. So I'm running out of recording time because I have a lot of blogs sitting around. So I'm actually going to share the rest of these next time because I don't have enough time. And I'm going to go unpack some boxes, have some lunch because I'm super hungry, and work on trying to find my cord so that I can actually put this footage onto my laptop because I don't know where it is yet. But I'll find it. I will. It'll be fine. So until next time, have fun doing the things that you love. Enjoy some knitting or weaving or crochet or whatever it is that makes you happy. And don't forget to put in your entries for the Stash Yourself Challenge Q2 prize draw. Knit all the sweaters for Rhinebeck or just for fun. And I will see you guys in a couple of weeks. All right, bye-bye.